Okay, I'm sorry, y'all. Like, look at my hair. Oh my gosh, I actually like this a lot. My hair is in a transitioning phase. You can see there's some little straight, messed up curls at the bottom, but we're working on it. So anyway, what's up? It's Comic 95 the Savior, and I want to answer a question that I get all the time. And this is going to be a little controversial, but I hope that I put this question to rest, and I think that it will be very helpful for everybody. That, how can I say, for everyone that is wondering about my personal life as far as dating goes. So I want to both talk about why I personally don't date black men, and I also want to talk about interracial relationships. Not from the foreign woman's perspective so much, but I want to talk about it on the no, how can I say? I want to talk about the double standard with it and my thoughts on it, specifically with black people dating outside of their race. So, anyway, yeah. I'll get straight to it. There is no reason for me to not like black men. I absolutely love black men. I am a black woman. I was created because a black man and a black woman got together. I'm extremely attracted to black men, both intellectually, sexually, physically. I love black men. But, I think that people are not realistic. I live in Japan. I'm living in Asia. There are hardly any foreigners in Japan that are living here. And even within that microscopic percentage of foreigners that are living within this country, you have to also account for the fact that black people come from various countries. And as I've expressed on my channel, for reasons that I'm not going to bother to go into great detail with as I've done in other videos, I am not willing to date somebody that is black, that is from a that's from a country that is not closely good friends with the US, and that is also a first world country, because there is a fear of being used for money, visas, etc., and cultural clashes. There's very major differences when you're dealing with black people that come from predominantly black countries. This is my opinion, and I'm entitled to have that. And on top of that, you also have to account for the fact that out of that small percentage of foreigners and the small percentage that are black people and black men, a lot of these black men, they already have wives and or children. And on top of that, a lot of those black men, they only want to date Asian women, specifically Japanese. I cannot force a man to like me, want to date me, want to marry me, that has decided that I'm already off the list for being a black woman. I can't change your mind about me. There also has to be sexual attraction. Just because you are a black American man doesn't mean that I find you attractive. I can't tell you how many times I can get on Tinder or Pairs and I see a black guy, and if they are from the US, and I do want to talk to them, oh, this guy's actually handsome. You read their profile and it's full of baggage. It's like, oh, I have 2 kids, but they don't live with me, or I've been divorced, or you see that the guy is like 5'6" or something. Like, I'm keeping it real with you. Just as you can decide that you're attracted to me because you think that I'm cute, I can decide that I'm not attracted to you because you don't make enough money, or you're not educated, or whatever the case is. And all of these things, have to be considered when deciding on a relationship. If you want a serious relationship that will lead to marriage, like how I do, my goal is not to mess around with the guy just for the fun of it. So yeah, sure, if I just want to have a one-night stand, then fine, I guess I wouldn't care. But I'd even be honest in that case. I think that anytime that you're having sex, you should always choose a partner that, should something slip up, should you get pregnant, you wouldn't be like paranoid and freaked out over the fact like, oh my god, I have a baby with this man. So I'm just throwing that out there. The reason why I don't date black men is because there aren't a lot of chances to date them. And the times that you do have the chance, is someone that you're not attracted to. It has to go both ways. A guy being attracted to you doesn't mean you're attracted to him. And oftentimes when these black men do want you here in Japan, they don't want to marry you. They just want to have sex with you. They just miss being with a black woman. Most men here don't think that way or feel that way at all. They are just found being experiments for Asian girls that want to experience having, their basketball baby, or, having some BBC, whatever the case is. And that's between him and his girl, and that's his personal life. I don't care. I'm not going to judge it. And also keep in mind that not all black men here specifically are only after Asian girls. A lot of them are, but not everyone. And it goes both ways. There are tons of black women here that are specifically after Asian men. They want to have a Blasian baby. They want to have a Blasian YouTube channel, and that's them. That's their life. I'm just saying that I know that that just isn't for me. I don't care for that. So again, do your own thing, live your own life. But I'm saying that cannot be me. So I personally don't want to date somebody just because of their race. I do not want to marry a man just because he's black and it's what's comfortable and familiar. But I also won't lie to myself. I understand people that want to do that. Obviously, as a black woman, it is so much easier to be in a relationship with a black man. He understands you, personality-wise, culturally. I feel more confident and comfortable about my natural hair. I feel more comfortable and confident about my skin complexion, about talking about racial issues. You already know and understand me. We were raised the same, especially if you're a black American. It's so much easier to develop a serious relationship. But again, the problem is there has to be a mutual connection going on. I have to also be attracted to you, just as you have to also be attracted to me. Every black man is not going to like me. There are people that can look at me and be like, ew, you're disgusting, who want to marry you? There's people that look at me and be like, oh, you're fun for one night, but not for, forever. And that's cool. You're entitled to think whatever you want to about me. Not every guy is going to like me. Likewise, I am not going to like every black man that comes into this country. I still have my own taste. There are things that I do and do not like, just like there's things that he does and does not like. So, yeah. And aside from that, as I said, there's a lot of things you have to deal with. Age, education, do they have children, do they have divorces, are they willing to date another black woman, would they want to marry another black woman? There's so much that has to be considered. And beyond that, I feel like there's a lot of hypocrisy. I see so many black women, I think I talked about this in my video about things that irritate me about black people here in Japan, but I see so many black women, both that I've been friends with in real life and those that are a part of forums and groups, that go on for days about black men dating Asian women and, them doing X, Y, Z for these Asian girls. And I can agree. I feel like there's a lot of men here that are very serious and quick to become serious and get their lives together for these Japanese girls. And they would never do that for a black woman back in the States. But at the same time, it goes both ways. I see plenty of black women here that are willing to change their entire personality, everything that they want, and will cater to this man for the sake of being married to a Japanese man. So it goes both ways. Just as there's lots of black men here fetishizing after Asian women, there are tons of black women here fetishizing after Asian men. So I feel like it's a very hypocritical thing. And I also think that it's silly when I see both genders, but I'm going to talk about black women first. When I see black women like myself come here to Japan, and then they complain about seeing black men with Asian women and get disgusted and give the side eye and everything else. I can even say for myself, I've mentioned this on my channel before, I've literally gone out on dates with Asian guys several times, and two people in particular. One was the doctor that I went on the date with last summer, as well as Jimbei, as my patrons know. And in both circumstances, I have ran into black women, and they literally gave, in fact, in one case with the doctor, it was a black couple. They gave me the side eye, looked me up and down in disgust, what a sellout, how dare you go on a date with this Japanese man, how are you attracted to that? I just look really nasty and funky, and it really upsets me because okay, when you do see black people here dating, you all get angry over it, but then at the same time, people get mad about the stereotypes and the generalization that Asians don't like black women or black people, and then it's okay, then when you see it, then you make people not want to get into a relationship with somebody, outside of their race, because you judge them, stare at them, and just make them feel super uncomfortable. And I feel like it's really hypocritical, it's a double standard, it literally doesn't even make any sense. So there's so much, that goes into that. There's a lot of jealousy, a lot of anger, a lot of hate, and a lot of people, as I said before, aren't even real with themselves. If you're not attractive, you're going to have a lot more trouble dating here in Japan than you would in your home country. That's facts. Because beauty standards are definitely more cutthroat here in comparison to the US. And I will also be real, I'm not going to be politically correct. As a black person, and I'll make a video on this separately, I do feel like you have to compensate for your so-called blackness through other means of beauty, so to speak. Because from the start, if you were to put me side by side with a white woman, even if every white man would tell you that she is not attractive and that I look better than her, I will lose almost every time. Because on average, most people, when they think of beauty, they imagine a blonde-haired, blue-eyed girl with pale white skin when they think of a beautiful foreigner. They're not going to be thinking of some dark-skinned black chick with curly hair. I'm keeping it real with you. So, of course, there are men that would be like, oh, she's unattractive, this girl's cute, that girl being me. But on average, the reason why I win in that circumstance is I have to be significantly better looking than the other girl. I consider myself to be a very attractive person. I'm treated and perceived that way. However, I've seen several circumstances where there'll be a girl that is not attractive at all, or a girl that's just okay looking. But again, you put me in the same vicinity as her, and men will flock to her because she's white. And that's up to them. They have their own beauty standards. But I'm just keeping it real with you. I am going to be honest. Generally speaking, yes, you do have to try harder, and there is more you have to do to compensate, make up for the fact that you're black, and people automatically have a racial, bias and decide that they do or do not like you because of it. And oftentimes when you are preferred, it's due to the over-sexualization of black women. I know it sounds super hypocritical because I have an OnlyFans, keeping it real with you. But I'm just saying, being real with you. It is assumed that you are good for nothing more than being a sexual relationship for a man, and that you are not somebody that people want to actually wife. And again, I'm not here to talk PC with you. I'm just speaking facts on that. That's the way that you're perceived worldwide. And same thing goes even within our own race with black men. A lot of black men, even here in Japan, they have no problem with sleeping with another black woman if they're willing to do that. They'd be like, yeah, you're kind of cute. Yeah, I'd hit it. But when it comes to actually marrying, it'd be like, I'll keep you as a side piece and cheat on you while I'm with my Japanese wife, but I'll never leave my Japanese girlfriend or wife for you. It's that type of thing. So again, do what you want to do, whatever works for you in your life. I'm just saying that's not going to be me. I don't want to be with a man that I know is knowingly cheating on me and has decided I'm going to play second fiddle to some other girl. If you're in a marriage or relationship, I don't want you. And the reality is a lot of black men that do choose to come to Japan, they are in a marriage or they're trying to get married to their girlfriend. They already have an established relationship. And if they don't already have one, they will soon have one. Anytime that I've run into a black guy that's with an Asian girl, they almost act like they're waiting for me to look at them and discuss, or they're waiting for me to feel jealous or something, or they try to, avoid making eye contact. And it's like, I'm not even looking at you that way. I'm like, oh wow, there's another black guy here. I'm ready to give you a little nod, like I see you. And so they don't view it that way though. In their mind, a lot of the guys that are here that are dating Asian girls, they have so much hate towards their own race, specifically black women, despite the fact they came from one. And they will literally tell these girls that they're dating why they don't like black women or why they prefer Japanese girls over their own race. And, they'll lift up Asian women while bringing down their own race. And it's like, you can date outside your race like how I mostly do without having to talk negatively about the men, or in this case, the women of your own race. You can say whatever you want to about me if you're my ex, but none of my exes can ever say that I've ever said anything bad about a black person. I don't talk bad about black women. I don't talk bad about black men, and I have every reason to, especially for black men. But no, I do not. I never say anything negative or bad. I only speak positive things. And when I do talk about anything problematic, it's about the black community and not a matter of me attacking, like, oh, black men don't have this, and they're uneducated, they got 6 baby moms. I don't say none of that type of stuff. That's black business. I don't need to talk to a white person or Asian person, Hispanic person, anybody else about what goes on inside the black community. That's our problem. That's our issue. It's just screaming self-hate. And I'll also be real with you, because you're living in a majority Asian country, they don't understand what's wrong with that. So you'll oftentimes date Japanese men that will give you a whole story on why they don't like their own women. And as I said to you before, it's a red flag. Even although they don't mean it that way, many of them mean it as a compliment. They want to make you feel good about yourself. But anytime that you have to put down other people, including people of your own race, to make someone else feel good or to make yourself feel good, that's a red flag right there. There's something wrong with that. There's nothing normal about that at all. It's understandable that you can innocently do it and not understand the deeper meaning behind it, but it generally means there's underlying problems and issues. And more than likely, that means that you're basically telling me you're dating me or that you like me because you have a fetish and you're stereotyping me and you believe that I'm going to behave or act a certain way. And that's always what it comes down to. Like, for example, people find out I'm an American and or I'm black, they think that they're going to be getting some twerkathon on their dick. They are going to have this wild party life, party animal type, outgoing, outspoken girlfriend. And that's definitely not me. Don't let my YouTube videos fool you. I'm actually a pretty quiet, boring ass person in real life. So yeah, it's like, and then like when people meet me, they're like, oh, you're an American? Are you sure? Look, I never met anybody with a personality like you. And they assume again, oh, it's because you've been in Japan. Like, no, it has nothing to do with me being in Japan. This is my real personality. So yeah, that's pretty much it as far as I have to say. It's like, it goes both ways. Most of the black men here only exclusively date Asian girls. Most of the black women here are only willing to exclusively date and marry Asian men. And again, I find it funny that people seem to be so Black women are so protective over keeping black men from dating Asian girls and will bash black men for being with Asian women. But then at the same time, black women also get upset when they see a black girl with an Asian man. And it just really like drives me crazy. I'm not talking about the fetishizing girls that like change their handles and make it Blasian princess. I'm not talking about that type of stuff. I'm talking about just normal, regular relationship. People lose their mind over that. And then black men do it too. I cannot tell you how many times I've been talking to black men, or that I've even like been around them and just listening to them talk or reading forums from them in which they will go on a whole tangent about black women interracial dating. And then you look and I'm like, aren't your kids biracial? Don't you have 3 babies with a white woman? Isn't your current girlfriend Japanese? So you want me to not date outside of my race, but it's okay for you to do it and to reproduce. Interesting. And on top of that, it's like, why limit yourself with who you date? Why not expand your options and decide, excuse my chair, why not just decide, I'm going to be with whoever loves me properly, whoever takes care of me, whoever can financially provide for me, whoever is educated and intelligent enough to have a good career, to be a good father, to take care of the family, and that treats me well. Why am I going to decide I'm going to miss out on all of those opportunities to have somebody that is a man, that is mature, that is a provider, that is handsome, that is tall, that is all the things that I want, for the sake of holding out for my race? And it's even dumber to live abroad, because it's like, why would you go all the way to Asia and Japan and then have inside your mind, I am only going to be with somebody within my own race? There's religious people here that do that too. There are Jehovah's Witnesses. I'm sorry, I'm going to keep it up. There are people that are Islamic here, and it's like, I understand it's possible, but it's like, for the ones that do it, good for you, no shade. But then for the ones that don't get married, it's like, you need to go back to your home country. You're wasting your time. You can go back and come back here later. Or maybe decide you want to stay in your home country, whatever you choose to do. But why would you move to a country where there is nobody that is within the, whatever range of what you're trying to date? You know you're religious and you need somebody within your religion, according to your religion, in order to marry. You know that you want somebody of your race and you're not willing to date outside of your race. Why would you come to Japan? An agnostic, atheist country full of Asian people. I literally, my brain just doesn't understand it. And again, you don't have to get married here. Some people don't want to get married, and that's cool. But I'm talking about for those that do. There are plenty of people living here, especially women. I really don't get this with black women. They'll come here. I've had friends like this. And they'll have inside their mind, I am only willing to marry a black man. And I'm like, okay, why would you come to Japan for your 20s then? And stay here for all of your 20s? And push 40? Why? When you know you want to get married. Because now, while it is possible, because I know of people here that have met black couples, they exist, that have met in Japan and got married and had children. But there are not many like that. And your options are significantly more limited. The majority of black American men that you even see here, which there's a very small percentage of them, they're normally people that are in the U.S. military, meaning they're only going to be here for about 4 to 6 years and then they're going to go somewhere else. They're not permanent residents here. Not really. They're here for a short period of time. But they're not going to stay for anything more than a few years, if even that. Why would you want to build and have a family with somebody that doesn't want to be in the country that you want to live in? There's literally no logic in dating a black man for that reason. And sorry, I wouldn't be interested in marrying or dating somebody in the military. I've gone on dates with both black and white guys that are U.S., military, whatever type people. I've done it before. I've considered marrying before. It's just not for me. I don't want to have to move around the world. I don't want to have to wait and worry. Is my husband cheating on me? Does he have a baby on the side? It just ain't the lifestyle for me. Not my thing. It's not a matter of not liking black men. It's a matter of it not being practical. It's not a matter of not dating black men. It's a matter of not being realistic. If I desperately have to have a black man in my heart, then fine. I would go back to the U.S. and move to the South where there's very, very, very large percentages of black people. There would be no logic in me coming to Asia and being in Japan. And a lot of the black men that seem to be so hurt over the fact, like, why do you only date Asian men? Why are you only dating Japanese men? Why are you only dating Japanese girls? Or better yet, why are you concerned about who I'm dating when you openly, almost exclusively date Asian women? And then you see me and it's like, oh damn, she's fine. I'd actually want her. Like, there are literally black men that'll be married and have children with a Japanese girl and will roll their eyes at the sight of seeing you with an Asian man. They'll joke about it. They'll assume his dick must be small. It must be the money. He's short. He can't handle those thick thighs. Everything else that you could possibly think of. And it's like, okay. Now, if I tell you that Sachiko can't ride dick, if I tell you that Sachiko got a pancake ass booty and fake boobs, then you want to go in. And so it's like, what is up with all of this weird, like, attacking the other person's partner type? There's so much hate and jealousy. I swear, white and Hispanic people, please stay out of this. I'm sorry. don't get into this conversation. Just listen. Black people, it's okay. I'll accept the smoke. You can hate on me, but I'm keeping it real, speaking from my own personal experience. It's so crazy to me that there's so much jealousy and hate when we see another black person with somebody outside our race, even although we're living abroad. This country is almost 100% Asian. Not even just Japanese, Asian. Because out of the percentage that's not Japanese, people keep talking about, oh, Japan is only 1% or 2%, foreign. Keep in mind, that's including the Chinese, Vietnamese, and Korean people here. And even the mixed race people. So that means I had a little itty bitty, tiny, microscopic percentage. An even smaller percentage of black people, and then an even smaller percentage of black men, and then an even smaller percentage of unmarried black men are available to you. How are we supposed to choose somebody from that pond? This ain't Noah's Ark, y'all. We have more options than the two dusty, crusty-lipped men here in Japan. If I desperately need a black man, I will take my black ass on a flight back to the U.S. There is literally no logical reason for me to settle and decide I am going to settle with one of the men here. Why? There's no reason. You don't have to avoid dating your race. But unless you find somebody that you're truly attracted to, why pretend like you are to look good to the public? Not to mention, the lesson that I want to also mention is, I've said this several times, I feel like it's not practical from a parent or a life perspective either. If you know in your heart that you want to live in Japan, why would you marry somebody that lacks language ability, lacks cultural knowledge, lacks life experience, because he more than likely wasn't born and raised in Japan as a black man himself? Things are going to be hard for you. Dealing with your pregnancy, having a baby here, your doctor's appointments, getting your child set up for school, going out to restaurants, parties, traveling, vacation, everything is significantly harder. Because no matter how well you and your husband can speak Japanese, you can't fully understand the culture, you can't fully understand kanji, you can't fully understand paperwork, insurance plans, licensing, all type of crap. Mortgages, everything will always have to be translated for you, no matter how well you speak. You cannot honestly read legal documents. You cannot honestly read kanji at an adult level. You can't. It doesn't matter how good you think you are. You can't. I promise you. Moments like that where you need somebody that has experience, that knows how to talk to your kid's teacher, that knows how to talk to the counselor, that knows how to get you signed up for the stuff, that knows what to do in an emergency, that has cultural context and knowledge, a black man cannot do that for you. So in those circumstances, like if you do marry a black man, you're basically also giving up on your idea of being in this country. In my opinion, doing things wisely. There are plenty of black people that have decided, not plenty, there are black people that have decided to marry a black partner and stay in Japan And many of them choose to put their kid in international school. And I have mixed feelings towards that. I feel like it isolates your child more and reinforces the stereotype of foreigners not being able to integrate into Japanese society. I also don't want my kid to purposefully have to deal with tons of bullying and being picked on and mistreated either and abused. And I'll figure that out and cross that bridge later. I want to balance my kid's life between being with foreigners and Japanese people. I don't want them to be raised significantly different. But we're not going to talk about that right now. But yes, those are things that I think of. I want somebody that is a local and native to the country to help me get through those things. Likewise in the U.S. It would be wise for you to choose to marry another American if you are a foreigner in the U.S., not just for citizenship and visa purposes, but for the fact that it makes your life easier. This person knows how the system works, knows the government, knows the culture, knows the language. There are things that they know and understand that you never will, because you are not a native to the U.S. So again, this is my own opinion. I'm entitled to like or dislike what I like or dislike. I'm telling you my thoughts on it. What I think at the end of the day is people just need to mind their own business. Don't worry about who other people are dating and marrying. Being mad at somebody for being with an Asian man, being mad at somebody for being with an Asian woman is not going to make them suddenly like you. Scolding them won't change who they're going to date. It's not. And same thing goes even acknowledging fetishes. I've talked about it before on this channel, and my feelings stay the same. I've never met a single black woman that has openly admitted that she has a fetish. Anytime that they purposefully go after Asian men, they will always say, oh, it's my preference, it's a type. Black men said the same thing, white men said the same thing. Everybody says the same because nobody wants to call themselves a fetishizer. Nobody wants to use those words, but it is what it is. And your reasoning for liking them is because you're stereotyping them and you have fetishes about their race. You have decided, I specifically like people of this race for that reason. And that's between you and Jesus. I don't care here to judge and shade in that. But my point is, because you have decided that, if you're being real with yourself, you've also lowered your standards because you are trying to meet that fetish requirement. This is why you'll see, fine, rich men with ugly Asian girls. And they'll be like, damn well, you ain't got no attraction to that girl. But they do. They just want somebody that's Asian. They don't care what they look like. They just want an Asian partner. Likewise, you will see women that'll be with the most ugly, busted, short Asian man. Black women in particular, I see it all the time. And I'll be like, now there ain't no, and that man ain't even got money. There ain't no way you saw that man and you were like, I gotta marry him. You saw the idea of Blasian babies. And that's cool, do what you want to do. But let's not lie here. You're there for a fetish. But the reality is, me calling it a fetish ain't gonna change your mind and opinion. You'll lie to yourself and say, it's not a fetish. I just find this attractive about their race. I like the way that their appearance. You'll say everything under the sun. It's like, sir, ma'am, it's a fetish. It's no different than height. Sorry, but actually it is very different than like somebody for their height. Me scolding you, shaming you for it won't change your mind. It's still factual. It's still a fetish. But it's not going to make you change your mind. You'll just do it more secretively. You'll try to reword it to make it sound better. Not a fetish, it's a preference. Right. Do your own thing, like how I said. Hating on people is so hypocritical here, especially when we're already a small community to begin with. Why divide ourselves even more? There are differences from race to race. There are differences from country to country. I'm not here for that sort of PC talk. But I am saying the last thing that we need to be doing is attacking each other. Instead, we should be happy for the fact that a fellow black person is in a relationship, a fellow black person is married, is doing their thing. Why sit around and hate on them? This is how I see it. As long as you are not bashing black women while you're with a Japanese girl, and as long as you are not bashing black men while you're with, an Asian man, I have no problem with you and your relationship. And every relationship is not fetish based. You can like somebody authentically for themselves without it being fetishized while in an interracial relationship. I have no issue with that. My problem is not so much a matter of when you are exclusively looking for Asian women or exclusively looking for Asian men, but when it gets to the point where you are worshiping and celebrating their race more than the relationship. Again, like when you look at these channels, everything on the channel is, look at my Blasian baby, look at my, Japanese boyfriend, look at my whatever. Like, everything is just, look at them, don't look at me, look at them, look at what I had, look at my baby. That's creepy, sad, and fetishy. And I always think from the reverse. Would I want my partner to do that to me? And then the other sad thing is, too, when you look at it, how many people do you see doing the opposite? I can count, if any at all, the groups, the forums, the YouTube channels that are by Asian men fetishizing and chasing after their black wives or girlfriends. I'm just saying. So, it's whatever. Again, I'm not your mom. Do what you want to do. I'm just answering this age-old question that people keep asking on my channel. And it's not a matter of me not liking black or American men, for that matter. It's a matter of there not being a realistic relationship possible. If you don't want me, I can't force you to want me. If you have children and an ex, and I don't want to deal with that, I don't have to deal with that type of crap. You're not planning to be in Japan forever. I have no interest in dating you, because this is where I want to be. I'm only open to living here in the US. There are literally so many people that don't seem to understand that there is no logic in dating somebody, talking to someone that doesn't plan to be where I am at. And there's no logic in being with somebody that will make my life more difficult in the future. Just like how not having money, which most foreign men here do not have good careers, do not make good salaries. But forget about money, even for the ones that do have an okay salary, then you lack cultural knowledge. You don't understand this country and culture. I want my children to have someone that they can go to. Because that's one thing that I cannot help my kids with. No matter how well I can speak Japanese, no matter how well I understand Japanese culture, I don't have any prior experience with going to school here. I don't have prior experience with how, the government or hospitals and things like that. There's so many things that I can get from my in-laws, that I can get from, my cousins and aunts and uncles, or, sisters and brothers-in-law, and my partner, my husband, that I cannot get from another black person. It just won't happen. Especially if their family wasn't born and raised here in Japan. The list goes on. Personal preference. Do whatever you want to. I want to make my life easier. I want to make my kids' life easier. So should I choose to marry a black man? Like I said, there's a 99.9% chance I would be leaving the country. And I'm not totally against it, because I have considered it and I am thinking about it, leaving Japan. It's crossed my mind several different times. And not because of my life here currently, but actually with this whole war crap currently going on. It's kind of right next to Russia. So, yeah. Do I hate black men? No. Do I love them? Yes. You can love people without dating them. I don't have to have sex with you to prove that, that I'm not a racist, or that I don't hate my own race. I don't walk around typing in forums, talking crap about black men. I don't have to lie in favor of them either. But I don't sit around with my Asian boyfriend and say crap about black men. I don't get off on that. Because when you talk about them, you're really insulting yourself too. And to be honest, it's funny that black men, don't contradict myself, have so much to say about black women and their badness at the other. And it's like, the majority of black people in Japan are men. You guys have more dating experience outside of your race than we do, both in the US and here in Japan. So it's really ironic that they seem to, get a little bit passive aggressive or have crap to say when they see a black girl with an Asian man. It upsets them or inclines them to make jokes or to talk about stuff, and they want to talk about, my dick size, whatever, to make themselves feel better. So yeah, that's it. It's stupid to hate yourself. I also think it's stupid to close off your options of dating people outside your race. If a Japanese man makes me happier, takes better care of me than a black man, then I will go for him for all means. And same thing goes to you, black man. If a Asian girl, Japanese girl, is taking better care of you than the black woman that you were dating, then go for her. Don't keep yourself closed off and decide I'm only going to date people that look like me, or I'm only going to date people, that, make the people around me happy. Do what you want for yourself, because the same people that are judging you and encouraging you to choose a partner for whatever reason, they're going to choose their partner and move on with their life. They're not going to give two craps about the fact that you are single and alone and childless and whatever else. So do what's best for you and your life and your family. So that's it. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. You can give me your 2 cents down in the comments below. I hope I answered that question. And yeah, I wish like this got talked more. I wish that we as Black people supported each other more. And we're just happy to see each other married, and the fact that, hey, we found a partner who's hopefully not a racist douchebag and actually loves us and isn't fetishizing after us and is going to take care of us, and we have a beautiful family together, instead of it being a competition like, oh, like you're a salad, you're with this person. I really wish we got together more, because it would also help, especially for those of us that have children and or that are in mixed race relationships. There's so much that we could do, like getting together. Like there should be a whole YouTube channel. Somebody take up my idea. There should be an entire YouTube channel just dedicated to mixed race marriages here in Japan, specifically with Black people. I would love to see a Black woman with a Japanese man and a Japanese, woman with a Black man sit down and talk about their relationship. Talk about the differences and the things they've had to learn and the struggles that they go through, and see their kids be friends with each other and talk to each other and hang out. But we can never get to that point because there's so much hating on each other and jealousy and envy and just so much crap. So that's it. And same thing also Black women. There are Black women that, will be that'll date Asian men, and then they get mad when they see another Black woman dating an Asian. Like, it's just so weird. I don't understand it. So that's it. Let's support each other. Let's love each other. Let's change the way that we have this whole crap going on, and let's stop demonizing people for dating outside the race. Be happy that they're happy that they found someone. Let's stop making stereotypes and assumptions. You can date outside your race without hating yourself or hating your race. You can love somebody from another race without having to bash your own race, or to make them feel better, bash your own race to impress them. You can, be happy with somebody that's not Black like you. And just because somebody isn't dating within their own race doesn't mean that they hate their race. I hate that stereotype and assumption. And I also hate that Black women get all of the flack for it, whereas Black men can freely do whatever they want to. There's so much hate towards the term swirling. It's normally associated with Black women dating outside their race. But for Black men, yes, there are tons of Black women that will get on Black men for dating outside their race too. I don't really see it as often, in my opinion. I feel like there's much stronger hate and resentment towards a Black woman that goes for a white or Asian man versus the reverse of that. So, and again, I can speak from both sides. I've definitely seen tons of Black women talk down on Black men while they're with their Asian partner or with their white partner. So I think there's changes that need to happen all the way around. I'm just giving you my own 2 cents on why you mostly see me and hear me talk about Japanese men and why I pretty much seem to only date them exclusively. It's kind of true. You wouldn't go to Denmark, a place where you're dealing with people that mostly have blonde hair and blue eyes, and look for a guy that has extremely, dark, chocolatey, deep complexion, 6 feet tall, whatever. You're looking for something that's unrealistic. How many Black men in Denmark fit that description? You want a tall, fine, chocolate man in Denmark? You in the wrong country. Sure, there's somebody that's going to fit that mold. There's going to be some model there, some whatever, but realistically, you are in the wrong place. The majority of people there are going to be white, blonde hair, blue eyed. And naturally, I should mention that too before I end this video, because that is their country. It is going to be a much larger pool of potential candidates, not just because there's more, white people there, or in this case, more Japanese people here. You are dealing with more people, which means that inevitably there's going to be more attractive people. There's going to be people that have higher education. There's going to be more money, people that are more serious about getting married, taller people, etc. On average, who's taller? The Black man is taller than the Asian man, but because there's a much smaller pool of people that I'm dealing with, it pretty much balances out. I've seen more tall Asian men than I've seen tall Black men. Go figure. So again, it's not a matter of this is true for all Black men. It's the fact that there are not a lot of Black men here to compete and compare with the Japanese man. There's more options and opportunities for me to date somebody that is a native to this country. I'm looking for a needle in a haystack. If I decide I have to have a fine, tall, educated, no kids, chocolate brother, that's not going to be easy to come by. So, again, I'm done. Give me your 2 cents down in the comments below. Sorry for your feelings, not what you were looking for, but yeah, I don't legitimately hate Black men. I just don't have an option to date somebody that I'm truly attracted to and can see myself having children with. I want to get married. I want to have kids. I don't have baggage. I have a college degree. I don't have children. I have no divorces. I'm young. I am not obese. I ain't got none of that type of crap that you can try to stereotype and throw on me. And, my body is natural. And all of the crap that people want to use as, excuse for why they don't date Black women, why they don't, whatever, none of that stuff has anything to do with me. So So I know that that's normally like a go-to that men will say for why they don't like black women. But again, like even beyond that, I might still not be your taste. And everybody does not look at me and be like, oh my gosh, she's so fine. You can definitely look at me and be like, you can put my dick anywhere near her. And that's cool, like I said. So I'm done. Let's have a discussion about this. And yeah, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please check out my YouTube channel. You can go to my homepage. I have playlists on just about every topic in Japan, from dating, working, studying, living here, housing, etc. You can use the search bar on my homepage, on my channels page, and find a video on just about any topic that you can think of. If you have any questions for me, please send me an email. And if it's a general topic or something that's interesting, I would definitely make a video and share my thoughts on that topic. Otherwise, please make sure you like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. And I hope you'll watch another video. The links to my social media are all down in the description box below. Bye.